Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be listening to Ego Death performed by Polyphia featuring Steve Vai. So it's been a little while since we've done Polyphia on the channel, and I'm really excited to revisit them. I think everybody in the group, not just Tim, but all the musicians are exceptional, and I'd go so far as to even say they are all virtuosos of their instrument. And it is just such a privilege being able to listen to these abstract and incredibly skilled musicians feel their groove, do their thing, and enjoy their time. And I'm really excited to jump into this. I don't really know what to expect from it aside from complexity and musical intrigue. But I'm just excited, and I hope you are as well. So without any further delay, let's jump into it. Oh, this picking! These chromaticisms, dude! Oh! Oh my gosh, that gentle whammy. Oh, what a shot! Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. That was so stellar. There were so many incredible little chromaticisms, and the licks, the riffs, were so clean and tight. And when Steve came in, just gently pressing on that whammy bar just to modulate the pitch just a little bit, add a little bit more texture, and it was so many little details, little accents that just contributed to not just the complexity of the piece, but this really dynamic sound. And it's so unique and intrinsic to the group. Let's just jump into the analysis. Oh my gosh. Can I even handle this? Yeah. So just something that I really dig about the beginning is the fact that Tim is playing acoustic here and then transitions later into the electric. But just this very soft opening with the acoustic, it's very similar to singing a piece where you're singing on a mezzo piano dynamic, where you're not starting incredibly soft with so much room to grow. You're creating this atmosphere where you can get softer if you choose to, but you're leaving even more room to grow, to allow the piece to blossom and explode outward. And with his technique of starting pretty strong in terms of his dynamic, but starting in on an acoustic, which isn't going to be as heavy hitting as an electric. It's a really good contrast being in this mezzo forte-ish dynamic and having the mixing and mastering be as crisp as it is. It's so good, dude. Plus, I always love Tim's style where his eyes are closed and he's just really vibing with his music. Something I really, really love in my own music, especially when I'm beatboxing, but also when I'm singing, is just closing my eyes and just performing. Not necessarily for others, even though I love doing that, but just enjoying the process of making music. It connects you with yourself if you guys have ever had that kind of experience where in order to be in this kind of flow state, you need to practice your craft to such a degree where you become not just competent in it, but you actually have achieved a certain level of skill and mastery of the craft where you can just exist within that space without really needing to not put effort into it, but place all of your mental faculties into the instrument, but rather sit back, rely on the skill that you've developed throughout years of arduous practice, and fully enjoy the process of making music or making art or doing whatever it is that you've invested your time in. There's something so beautiful and profound about that, and I just love it so much. I love seeing other people do it too. Yeah. Really great having it zoom out to have Scotty there too. Really good stuff. And again, both of them really feeling their stuff. Love that. Yeah. Yeah. And this picking here. Oh my gosh. And these very sharp cutoffs too. Yeah. It's so clean. Very crisp. The sound doesn't linger onward, or it's not sustained, rather. It's this very tight and polished melodic line that's so crisp. And some of these notes are very staccato, very sharp and clean, strong cutoffs. And it just adds even more emphasis to some of those more sustained notes. They're not necessarily as long as whole notes that are sustained throughout the entire measure, but you can tell that when a note is sustained and not as crisp, it has a little bit more of that impact because it's surrounded by those very staccato, very crisp notes. So the composition of this piece is so good. I love these chordal progressions too, really clean stuff. And these licks are just great. And you can even tell on Tim's face here where he is in this flow state. He is really digging this sound and this vibe. But even he in this moment has to place at least some of his mental faculties into the instrument itself, have a little bit more focus on making sure that this lick is executed well and making sure that this melodic line is executed well, because this is some really intricate, very difficult stuff. Just watching how his hand is moving along the neck, it's so detailed and polished. So good, dude. Love this. Love this. And the drums just pair so well with this melodic line where it's very crisp and very detailed, very intricate. It's so clean. So clean. I love the fact that there's just strong cutoffs and all of the other instruments allowing this electric guitar to come in, and it just feels like you're floating just in those brief moments before you get the weight of the bass, the other guitar, the drums, and it's so impactful. This composition is outstanding, dude. These fills on the drums are so crazy. Well, maybe they're not that, intricately crazy, but they're just so heavy hitting. My gosh, dude. But the fills might not be the most intricate stuff in the world, but the entire line of the drums and the cymbals and the transitions between the cymbals, the hi-hats, and just the rest of the kit itself, the kick drum, the snares, everything, it's just so precise. Everything in this piece is just so exact. I really don't even know how they achieve this level of intricacy. I remember I saw in an interview with Tim Henson where he was asked about music theory, and if I knew nothing about him, I would assume that his knowledge of music theory was equivalent to that of Jacob Collier, just so immensely expansive. But he admitted to his audience saying that he knows some music theory, but it's not to the level of the most involved music theorists. And for those that don't know how deep the rabbit hole of music theory can go, it is far beyond what anybody might make it out to be. You not only have different modes of music, and for those thinking that, there's major and minor modes. There's Ionian, Dorian, Locrian, Mixolydian, and the hypos, Hypomixolydian, Hypodorian, and the list is so much more expansive. And going far beyond that, you have all of the musical terms, which are far more than just crescendo, decrescendo, legato, retard, but there's just so many different words, and the way music is phrased and structured to create these different feelings in our bodies. And there's so many different time signatures that are well beyond 3/4 and 4/4. There's 5, 7, 16. There's different styles of writing music, not just in terms of the music that is written today, but not just classical styles of writing, but you look at writing that was written for Gregorian chant, and that was very specific music that looks not a lot like music looks today. You look at sheet music for something like the banjo, where the banjo has its own style of writing, and the rabbit hole of music theory is so deep that it's honestly limitless and so expansive. Very similarly to any field, I would imagine, where it's that Dunning-Kruger scale where you start something and you have a certain level of competency in it, so you think that you're really great starting off at a high point, but the more you go into it, the more you realize how deep that rabbit hole is and how little you actually know, and then you can start actually growing your knowledge and depth and skill within that field, that instrument in this case. And it's just so good. It's so amazing what they're able to accomplish with not just the knowledge that they have, but just with the skill, the refined skill that it took to get to this point. Really incredible stuff. Oh! I love this section. Just the fact that it feels lento, but we haven't really changed the meter of the piece at all. It's still bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da bum bum ba-da. But keeping that tempo, it's bum 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 bum. It's still keeping the same common time, or 4/4. And if you were to conduct that, it would just be 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da da dum bum ba ba da 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 ba da dun dun da 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 da. And just keeping that 4 just constantly in their mind as they're just grooving to the rest of the piece. It's really outstanding stuff that they just don't lose any of the momentum. Even if it feels like it's so much slower, that's just because we've experienced all of these very quick, intricate notes within this 4/4 time signature, that the moment that we actually do have sustained notes, like the bum, 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 ba, 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 having those sustained notes feels so much slower just because we've left this really tight, quick intricacy. But the time signature is the same, and music has that way of fooling audiences like that. And it's just so much fun to play around in, because even if it feels like we've lost momentum, we really haven't. We still feel this energy that's just constantly circulating, and it's so good, dude. It's just an element that makes music so compelling. Beautiful chromaticisms. Oh, and for those that don't know, chromaticisms are using solfege as an example. Solfege being do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in a scale. Chromaticisms are all of the notes in between that. So if you were to have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you can have the chromaticisms within that of do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do. And coming down, do, ti, te, la, le, sol, se, fa, mi, me, re, ra, do. And to put that to notes, it's do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do, ti, te, la, le, sol, se, fa, mi, me, re, ra, do. And all of those little half steps that just go up throughout the entire scale. So having these little notes just go up and down or be a little shuffled to create this really captivating sound and have that blow your mind from how intricate and tight it is. Oh, it's so good. Excellent musicianship here. Oh! Yeah, back to this picking. Oh. Oh my gosh. Just the fact that they're playing with so much of the guitar's range here, it's incredible. The drummer is doing such a great job of matching the tonal atmosphere of Scotty here. Incredible stuff. Oh! Beautiful harmonies. Oh! such a good mix of really tight, quick, intricate sounds, and then just going into this more sustained section where we feel like we can breathe a little bit with these more sustained notes, and it just feels a little slower, and we can process everything that's happened and is currently happening for our brains to catch up a little bit. And this is also a really good opportunity to introduce Steve here in his powerful chair sitting position, also feeling his music, feeling his groove, which I, again, really, really love. Yeah, and just watching him use this whammy here, and he's so gentle with it, just to gently modify that pitch. It's not even necessary that he does that, but I love the fact he does, because it feels like a pull on the heartstrings, where originally, if he didn't use it, we could just float in this atmosphere that they've built, in this, still doing our best to process and catch up with everything that just happened. But with that whammy, it just feels like a pull, an emotional pull a little bit. And it lets us feel this momentum that's still being generated, even though we're in this slower section. Instead of floating or being completely immersed in this incredible musicianship, we just get these emotional tugs on this slight whammy press, this slight pitch modulation, and it just pulls us in a little bit more. I love that effect, dude. Really great use of it. Oh. And I love the fact that his notes are sustained here, allowing all of these notes to wash over us and just experience this seemingly benign riff. But we know that there is a stronger intensity, a silent intensity, that's bubbling, boiling underneath the surface, and we're just waiting for that to come out. Love it. Just more in your face here. Love it. His slides were so clean. It might feel and sound very loose and flow-like, but it was so targeted and exact, so intentional, and it just, it's just so good. I'm sorry, I'm having such a difficult time expressing this felicity, but it feels damn near ineffable to describe everything that's happening, not just in terms of the music objectively, but just in terms of personal feelings and sensations. It's just something I love about music so much, where oftentimes music does feel ineffable and it's only been created just to fully experience, and I just love that quality about it so much. His slides, dude. these drums, dude! Oh! I love the fact that we end on this beautiful horn where it's just a different sound from anything that we've heard in the piece so far. But it just adds a nice little new texture to the end of the piece, just to say that from the very beginning to the very end, there's always something new. There's always something very dynamic about this piece that is just so rich in its musicianship. And this horn recreating the original melodic line is an excellent choice. I love it so much, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the good stuff. What a groove. What a vibe. Oh, yeah, dude. Polyphia, amazing. Steve, amazing. Whoever the trumpet player is, even though he wasn't throughout most of the piece, just really great execution in that final section. Just every element of this piece, even the cinematography itself, so good. The way that this piece was arranged, so consistent, so nice and smooth. Just damn near every aspect about this piece was just so consistent and refined, and everything just worked. Having all of these virtuosos of their instrument just come together to create this musically intricate and complex piece, but still have listeners of all over just admire the music, where you don't need to be a musician or understand music theory or understand anything about music in order to really appreciate what this piece is. And the more musical depth and knowledge that you have, you know, the more you can appreciate it on a deeper level. But even just as a casual listener, this kind of music is just so powerful that I can't imagine people who aren't musicians not enjoying this. If this type of music is something you would enjoy, where it's so unique and dynamic. They blend so many different styles of music together, and the delicacy, the intricacy, the skill, just everything coming together to create these masterpieces. Just incredible stuff. Polyphia, guys, freaking awesome. Really great stuff, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments below. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to all of them, so please know that your comments do not go unnoticed, and I do take them into consideration as I make future videos. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you guys would like to stop by and say hey or ask any questions about myself or the channel, I'd be more than happy to be there for you guys. My voice studio is officially open. Please click on the link in the description below if you guys would like to set up a time to meet with me over Zoom and we can talk about your goals in pursuing voice. And I'm really excited to meet you there. I want to take this time to appreciate all of you for being here and watching these videos. It really does mean a lot to me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.